It is surprisingly difficult to find decent coffee here in Waynesboro. Or breakfast burritos. Or decent breakfast. Oh no, she like walked half a mile, but not decent coffee. This is like more of a Damascus town than a Daleville town. So we have been blasting the air conditioner all night, so it'll take all the moisture out of the air. So we can dry off all of our gear, and we are set up for about a 2-day resupply, which will get us to the first of the like country store sort of things in Shenandoah. So woohoo! Now we just have to like get on with that whole walking thing. So much extra stress getting ready in a hotel room. There's like gear all over the place. Some of it looks like mine, some of it looks kind of like mine, some of it doesn't at all. Bondi just keeps talking, as you can see, has been talking nonstop. Oh, there is an Uber shortage right now, so we are really hoping somebody picks us up. Otherwise, this is going to be a long walk back to the trailhead. Okay, somebody accuses of me being cynical, but I said, you know what's going to happen right before this one stop we were debating for fuel? That's when we're going to get picked up. And what happened? We like walked for an hour and then we got picked up literally a block short of where we were hoping to get fuel. And now it is going to be onwards to Shenandoah and whatever that has to bring. I hear rumors it has hamburgers to bring, so I am totally on board for Shenandoah. Okay, Tater says 9 found her favorite part of trail magic, a doggy. Never mind all the other things. And no sooner had we got dropped off at the trailhead, but hey, trail magic! And they had fuel. Okay, I was finally able to tear Taters away and get her to stop talking endlessly. And now we're hiking. Welcome to the Shenandoahs! Woohoo! Yay! Everybody's favorite part of backcountry hiking. Government documentation. Okay, we are officially in the Shenandoahs for the next 100 miles or so. I am officially wearing pants again, well, shorts, since we were able to dry everything at the hotel last night. And we ended up with a really late start. So sadly, our plan 20 is probably going to be 15. Looks like we got about, well, a 10-mile-ish haul maybe to calf shelter. And then after that, there's a 12-mile dry stretch. So that'll be fun. Might be carrying some extra weight today. So if you're curious how I respond to all the YouTube messages and things, I'm often dictating onto my phone as I'm walking up long sustained hills like this. So Taters is back there laughing at me for doing that. I think if this was the Tater show, you guys might not be getting many answers. Speaking of which, I keep talking about doing a Taters Tuesday where it's all taters like all day, but that requires our dear little Taters back there to actually, you know, record some video, talk, etc., etc. And so far, I think I have a handful of pictures she's taken in the last 4 days since joining me. And those only happened because I literally prodded her, handed her the camera and said, here, please do this.
So I appear to be able to keep up with Masochist only while he feels compelled to do social media while hiking. That is one cool looking pack though.
Waynesboro was a decent stop. We were able to hitch in and out. Took us a little while in both cases, even with Taters playing hitch bait. But I was able to get Mexican food that was quite good. I was able to get beer that was on tap and good. And hotel was a Quality Inn, you know, reasonable price, nice place to stay. The coffee was a huge disappointment though. We actually made instant coffee in the hotel room after Taters ran like half a mile to go get coffee. And then we both tried it and we're like, oh, that's unfortunate. So yeah, there is word that there might be the occasional water cache out here, but as with this one, in many cases, they are empty. We found seats, which is an extra special treat when you're through hiking.
This is really random, but I approve of this seat.
I mean, most people would just be sitting in the grass, but I think that's why most people get ticks and Lyme disease. Do you see those 3 people back at that last road? They were probably covered in ticks. They're in like tall grass. They're like sitting on stuff like that. I mean, Jesus. So due to this dry section, we have a long haul. We have another 12 or so miles until we can fill up water at Black Rock. Unfortunately, if the weather changes, that's going to be a little on the miserable side. But all it takes is an unmarked water cache somewhere and we can always cut short. And, you know, if it's raining and it's miserable, what else are you gonna do other than walk forward? You don't really want to stop, take a snack, rest, anything like that. And of course, here we go again. Didn't like being dry anyway.
I'm even under shade.
Yeah! Okay, it's hard to get video when the rain's going hard, but we got all sorts of thunder and lightning going off on top of us. And no real idea how long this is going to last. It's a problem with weather reports out here. Okay, so we did have enough to make it to the next shelter, but we're having a little bit of what looks like an allergic reaction, so we were hoping to stop early, plus the weather's deteriorating, and then this cache kind of made life much better. Yes, thank you, whoever put this cache together. So yeah, we don't know what caused it, but it does look like we've got some sort of rash or something that's moving around. It's really bad on my upper body, it was really bad on Jen's lower body, and now even my hands are starting to itch. So I don't know what's going on. Fortunately, there's not a lot we can do about it. We have water, so we're going to set up camp once Blondie catches up here. Okay, home sweet home for the night. Can at least get out of the clothes that are apparently causing issues. Okay, so we seem to be having a minor issue involving some minor to moderate detergent burns because clothes didn't get fully rinsed out yesterday. So we ended up in a whole hell of a lot of pain at the end of the day. And as a result, our plan is we have to run back to WAYNESBORO, clean everything, hopefully get these burns calmed down enough to come back out here the next morning. So this sucks. How much pain are we in? Only 1 cup of coffee this morning. Also, her legs look like she's like dying of some weird plague sort of thing. So yeah, basically yesterday we get out, everything's fine in the morning, and then start to get sweaty. And all of a sudden I'm having weird sensations like, you know, burning across here, and I'm stopping, I'm putting on cream, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. Maybe brushed into something, but no. And as we go on, and especially once it started raining, every place that was moisture and there was cloth against skin started itching and burning. Look, and there's red marks. Groin and armpits got really bad, and this was not normal friction. I'm used to dealing with that. Whatever I applied didn't help. Finally, Jen mentions her legs, and they're just covered with red stuff, and it looks like maybe it's Disney rash, but then we start putting 2 and 2 together, and yeah, hotel issued us 2 Tide Pods, and I guess laundry was done with both of them, and it likely didn't all rinse out. So for whatever reason, once it was wet, that put better contact, and our skin's really red, and anywhere anything is touching or rubbing, that really leaves a mark and causes a lot of pain. I was in so much pain by the time I got to the tent last night, I didn't even want to move. And we washed every piece of clothing that we actually had, so there wasn't anything we could change into that didn't have the issue. So yeah, this has not been the funnest night, and we're both kind of bummed because we were looking forward to having a clear run through Shenandoah. But plan is Dennis, guy who brought the sticks a while back, is from this area. He's going to give us a ride into WAYNESBORO. We're going to rinse the clothes out a couple of times, get a shower, heal up for a day, and hopefully be back out here tomorrow. Because I am in a whole hell of a lot of pain this morning, pretty much all over. So one way of summarizing this week is this is my second Blondie inflicted round of burns after the coffee incident.
Like a restaurant chain?
Yeah, it's a restaurant chain.
Okay, for some reason this crazy town does not open coffee or breakfast early, so we're having to go with a phased approach. First phase, disappointing room coffee. Second phase, disappointing hotel breakfast. Third phase, mildly okay coffee from the restaurant that opens at 7. And Tater's talking nonstop. She hasn't really been awake this morning. There's been things knocked over, things spilled. It's been bad. So we made the best use of yesterday that we could, which basically involved running around trying to get steroid cream and a bunch of stuff and getting a bit of, a beard trim. I was getting tired of it zipping up into my jacket. And we went back to Mexican food to have, more beer and nachos. Also, the Mexican food place out here was really good, but I have no idea what was going on there. I have never had that much trouble ordering a draft beer. I kept ordering draft beer and I kept getting like all these different things. Jen was talking Spanish to them and still we couldn't like figure it out. They just did not understand the concept, and they only had like one tap that just had the beer I wanted, and like Jen eventually had to like run over, point at it, and then for whatever reason, like the glasses they were giving yesterday, they didn't know how to do that, so they had to give us a pitcher. Okay, so yesterday we did everything right. We went out, we hitched back a trail. We're ignoring all of that. Today it's all going to be shuttles. What? You're trying to like, what are you doing there? You look guilty.
I want to see more snakes. More snakes?
Okay, Skittles, the shuttle driver, dropped us off. And now time to hike again and see what's going to go wrong today.
All right, finally back on trail. It's a little chilly, but we got some sunshine, so great hiking weather. And just really hoping for our next smooth week or so with nothing else to interrupt our momentum.
Great, you've now jinxed us. I would have said nothing's gone wrong yet, but it's only been 20 seconds. So it does look like, were I the silly sort of naive person to trust weather forecasts out here, that rain's going to be done, and for the next week or so it's going to be clear and get up into the high 80s, 90s again. But we shall see. Nothing to keep it from doing that and pouring rain randomly. So why did I get my beard shaved back? Two very good reasons. I've basically been growing it out since before the PCT because I came back from Thailand and COVID shut everything down, so I wasn't able to like trim anything, and we live in a campground, so it's not like I have access to a trimmer. And it had finally got long enough where I was constantly zipping it up in my fleece when I got in bed at night, and that was kind of annoying. It's like something about Mary style, yeah. And then the other is it ended up having these like poof balls sticking out on the end. So every time I looked at my beard and my chin, I was picturing, do you remember Dracula from Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he had the like testicle hairdo? That's what I kept thinking. So much better. I keep trying to like reach down here and like tug on it. And it's like, oh, not there. Also, I don't think I'm retaining nearly as many crumbs from breakfast, which does take an important source of nutrition away from me. I told Jen this morning I was going to be like plucking down here looking for Pop-Tart crumbles to eat and not finding any. Taters has also been fully in support of me trimming my beard back to more reasonable levels, but really likes the long hair. Like, I get annoyed at the hair because it just kind of like floofs everywhere. If I can't wet it down within like 2 hours, it gets unmanageable, and I just have to end up wearing one of those buffs even when I sleep these days. But she really likes the idea of me with long hair and a ponytail. Oh, well, compromise. So people ask a lot why I'm not taking more zeros and why I stress about schedule and, whatnot. And the last couple of days is a good example of that. I mean, this was a basically enforced zero yesterday. Technically, our mileage was negative 0.3 because we had to go southbound 0.3 to get picked up. But I can't account for stuff like that. So I know that my hike is going to have to end either when I hit Cap Gaspe or if I'm not careful, winter. If there's too much snow, if it gets too cold, if I just can't safely continue with whatever the situation is up there in Canada, I have to stop. So whenever the hiking's good, I try and hike as much as possible. That way I can keep my buffer time. Because let's say I'd had, scabs bad enough I couldn't carry a pack at all and I had to get off trail for a couple of days. My general measure of how well I'm doing is my weekly mileage. It seems like daily just gets thrown all over the place. I've tried doing like moving averages, overall averages per section, and at least for me, weekly. So 100 miles is a weaker week, and then if I'm doing good, I've been up in the 140s. I have a friend who's currently on the CDT and was posting about how far behind he was. I don't like having a tight schedule because the moment you make a schedule, that's when things are going to happen and you're going to fall behind. If I said, oh, well, I'm going to be in Harper's Ferry on such and such a day, you get a delay like this. So I just try and do napkin math. I do, how many miles a day I'm doing generally, and then divide that by miles left. That gives me kind of the duration of the hike, and then the difference between that and when I think I'm not going to be able to hike anymore, which is probably mid-October, late October at this point. My class isn't going to happen, almost guaranteed, so it's going to be a weather end, assuming I don't run out of land to hike. So I have a buffer. You know, if I just went straight, I think I finish in September sometime. But that doesn't mean, oh, hey, I got a month's buffer. I should just take a week off and then I can rest up and be fully energized while hiking. That week I may well need. I know I've said this a couple of times, but last year on the PCT, a day or two in my schedule was the difference between getting caught behind a fire or, you know, finishing in a storm or finishing well. So, yeah, I constantly have my eyes forward. Plus, you know, after a while, you kind of get this momentum going where you feel like you need to move forward. And one day off, okay, the second day off, I start getting really antsy and I'm like, I need to be going that way. This is just a downright lovely day so far. Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice little view out to the west here. Looks like that's Trefoot Mountain directly in front. And civilization down there looks like it's the town of Grottos. All right, catching up to Masochist for our first snack break of the day. Hopefully he saved me some apple.
Snack break. So I actually listened to the Walk in the Woods book, and interestingly enough, despite the fact he didn't actually hike most of the trail, he did do this section, and he commented on how the road had a better view than the trail. Totally getting that, because all these gaps and things have nice overlooks. But trail, mostly green tunnel.
So if you're wondering why my trail name is Tasty Taters, no, it's not just because I really like instant mashed potatoes, although those are pretty darn tasty. No, it's because one day on the PCT, I had gone to get water first thing in the morning and left Masochist to guard the tent and all our gear. However, he must have neglected that duty a bit, because by the time I came back to the tent, I saw a deer walking away from the tent and munching quite intently on my sport bra. I then had to chase down the deer and get it to drop my sport bra, which was now covered in deer slobber. So, at least according to the deer, I had quite tasty taters. Anyway, I was quite happy to have an event that gave me an actual trail name. The leading contender before that was Stinky Frizz, and that's just not catchy.
Technically, Stinky Frizz, Magic School Bus, which didn't make any sense, and Mustard Tits. Okay, supposedly there's a camp store here. Supposedly there's food. I am really hungry. If not, there's a soda. So you can tell that Blondie is new out here in like so many ways, because, you know, I get to a restaurant and I'm like, ooh, soda, ooh, fruit, ooh, sandwich, ooh, second sandwich. She's like, yeah, I think I'll just eat my snack food. Also, she's not walking with a limp. I'm telling you, you need to like make the hiker limp happen, because otherwise people think you barely started.
I would have totally gotten a sandwich if they had veggie ones, but it's all meat.
You could get an Italian sandwich, pick all the meat out of it. I'll eat the meat, double the meat, and you can eat the other. So I don't remember if I mentioned this, but Taters had her first person who recognized her from the videos. She was shopping in Walmart when we were in Waynesboro the first time. And yeah, somebody recognized her. She wasn't even with me, which is cool. Told her that was going to happen. This trail could really do with some more rivers, you know?
All right, here's the first actual stream we've encountered today. It's a little one, but still always makes me happy being around water. And Matt knows that because he waited for me. All right, not sure that quite counts as a waterfall, but it makes me really happy.
Oh yeah, try zooming in a lot. That's obviously.
I have a niece that's only 7 years younger than me.
So we don't know if it has anything to do with the detergent issue, but Taters has been having a...
Don't put this on video!
That's your catchphrase! Has been having a hell of a time with dizzy rash. So she's now pouring potentially dirty water all over her legs. So we've been seeing these posts for a while now, at least the Shenandoah section and maybe a little before, and they actually contain a whole lot of information. It's just written so tiny that I mostly ignore it because it's hard to read. And I can totally see, okay, well, oh, there's the other one. I could totally see somebody coming up with the idea of, oh, we'll make these posts and then we'll do the metal so then we can like swap it out if anything changes. But yeah, not very easy to read. Never a bloody campsite when you really need one. We've been looking for about the last hour and there is not anything. I also have the sneaking suspicion that they maybe don't label campsites on the Gut Hooks map in an effort to push people towards, you know, the shelters. Okay, Taters over there is lamenting how old she feels, but we finally found a spot. It was another one of those sections where there was absolutely no spots. We got to another shelter and there were people literally camped like on the bushes right on the edge of the trail because they said everything was too full. But we found something, and it's close enough that Blondie has said she will go get me extra water so I can drink lemonade, so I am happy. Everybody heard that, right? On the internet. Home sweet home for the night.